showdown for first place in the NFC West. Seattle Seahawks making sure they're part of the mad dash to the finish line.
Geno Smith and zone ahead!
At home this week to take on the Cardinals, who were like, sure, the rest was nice, but we were kind of feeling it, you know? Arizona heads to the Northwest off a bye, but riding a 4-game win streak.
Lone in first place in the NFC West. Could you ask for much more?
Seattle back at 500, tied now with San Francisco and LA, a game behind the Cardinals. Arizona's offense was not asking for that Week 11 timeout. 28-plus points in 3 straight games before their break.
The Bears never expected that!
Kyler Murray has looked much more like a number 1 pick this year. Not big yards through the air, but accurate. Completion percentage near 70, not making mistakes. 12 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, which is why his rate for the year is over 100.
Launching far side into the end zone. He got it!
Murray now going after a Seattle secondary with mid-type numbers for the year, but that comes off a nice showing. Held Brock Purdy to 159 yards to a sub-90 rate. 1 touchdown, picked him off.
Tipped in the air and intercepted!
Their play against the pass helped them hold San Francisco to 17 points, better than their season average by almost 7 points. They only gave up 1 play of 20-plus yards last week.
Just reads the eyes of Purdy and gets in that window.
4 guys eat most of the passing pizza in Arizona. Trey McBride over 5 catches a game, over 60 yards per game.
Heaves it deep far side, coming back to make the catch, McBride.
Marvin Harrison Jr. close to 50 yards per contest, 6 touchdowns.
Oh, what a catch with one hand for a touchdown!
Michael Wilson chipping in with 30 yards per game, James Conner 24, so he uses all 3 varieties of pass catchers on the regular.
Little twirl around, this is Conner, catch and run!
Seattle has played running backs in the passing game really well. Wide receivers and tight ends, rate allowed to them on the wrong side of average. Pass rush in the same boat as far as sacks, but not pressure. They're top 10 there. Got to Purdy twice. Derek Hall is 6th. Draymond Jones is 4th.
Purdy is sacked from behind.
Seattle's pass rush up against a tough O-line. Just 15 sacks taken. Murray facing the 5th lowest pressure rate, and it's not a quick draw passing attack either.
I mean, you talk about air. Wow!
Murray, of course, can beat plenty of sacks with his legs. He leads the NFL at 8.1 yards per carry, 37 rush yards per contest.
He's going to keep it running right and into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown.
Conner has been solid on the ground too, 4.4 per run, 5 touchdowns, close to 70 yards per game.
And this time they're going to waltz in with Conner.
Seattle didn't really shore up its run defense versus San Fran. Gave up 4.9 a run, 131 yards along the ground, giving up 4.8 a carry overall for the year now too.
McCaffrey has a first down run to begin this drive.
But their rush defense didn't hurt them enough last week, and neither did their offense that only put up 20 points. That's the 3rd straight Seattle has failed to put up 21.
It's thrown quickly and blown up.
But if 8 was enough in the old days, 20 was enough Week 11. Seattle was a little better on 3rd down than they had been. Geno battled.
Still able to get there. Smith on the move, finds Smith and Jigba.
But no, they don't come off a pretty win. Smith under 7 yards per attempt, no TD passes, 1 pick, a low 80s rate. He has thrown an interception in 3 straight games now.
Lets it go. It is intercepted.
Geno and the boys take on an Arizona defense that's turned things around as well, have only given up 17-plus points once in their last 4, back-to-back games under 10.
Steps up in the pocket and sacked back at midfield.
Arizona's secondary also been on the rebound as of late, holding quarterbacks to a sub-80 rate their last 3 games.
Throwing back across the middle, incomplete. Buda Baker tipped it.
They get the Seattle trio this week. Tyler Lockett just 19 yards last week, under 20 yards 2 of his last 3. Jackson Smith and Jigba with 110 yards versus the 49ers. That's back-to-back 110-plus yard games.
Zips one, first down, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
DK 70 yards, Metcalf 7 catches, 70-plus yards back-to-back for him.
That is Metcalf over the top of Yadam.
Now, going backwards has been a problem lately for Smith. 4 sacks taken Week 11, 11 sacks taken over their last 2.
Smith in trouble. Smith is sacked.
Cardinals pass rush, not a very high pressure rate, but it has produced 24 sacks over 10 games.
Gets hit from behind and recovered by the Cardinals.
Last box, Seattle's rush attack. Kenneth Walker punched in his 7th of the year.
It's Walker left side and in for the Seattle touchdown and the lead.
just 54 yards, under 4 yards per carry. He hasn't cracked 4 a pop in 3 straight. Arizona's defense not great versus running backs in 2024, but they've held quarterbacks below the league average should Geno want to test them. Cardinals and Hawks play 2 times in 3 weeks, meet back up in Arizona week 14, 27-22-1 in favor of Seattle all-time. First meeting ever was a good one, 1976. This was the very first game in Seattle history at home. Jim Hart versus Jim Zorn. Hart 2 touchdowns, St. Louis's Terry Metcalf 113 rush yards, Jim Otis 140 and a TD. Zorn threw for 290 plus yards, Steve Largent 86, Sam McCollum 112 and 2 scores. They rallied late, but St. Louis hung on 30-24. Good stuff.